Hey, it's Dave Rowland. I was getting a lot of questions regarding my last video on diet plateaus, and I wanted to make a follow-up series, kind of as I promised. And this one is about what to do when we hit one of those diet plateaus. I'll tell you, I really struggled a lot with this because I think it's so individual as to what we should do to get you out of that plateau. But then I started thinking, well, how can I relate this information? I kind of came up with a real kind of short version of a if-then statement, and this is kind of what I go through in my brain when I'm working with my clients, okay? So I look at it this way. We hit a diet plateau, and is the diet plateau chronic or normal? Let me define these real quick. As I mentioned in the first video, there is something called chronic diet fatigue. Okay, you can always go back and watch the other video, but that's really if you've just been dieting too long. That's what I'm calling chronic here. Normal would be if you have a great plan, an appropriate plan. We have an appropriate caloric deficit. You've been dieting for an appropriate amount of time. Then we'd be in the normal category. So let me jump over here to chronic. If you are suffering from chronic diet fatigue, there's really a couple things that we should consider doing. We take a diet break, okay, like literally a break from dieting. And that doesn't mean that you don't eat healthy, but we need to bring your calories up to a maintenance level as opposed to your caloric restrictive level, okay? So that would be a diet break. Another thing that we can do is a reverse diet. And I do this a lot with some of my clients that have been dieting for a long time. And what we do is we do a reverse diet where we slowly, gradually, and systematically bring them up to their caloric maintenance level. Okay, there are a lot of strategies behind that. The other thing that we can do is a refeed. And again, depending on how chronic, your degree of chronicness, if that's a word, a refeed could be a 1 day refeed, could be a meal refeed or a day refeed or a week refeed, but we got to do something to get you out of this chronicness. How do we pick one of these? Well, I tell you, it really depends on what you've been through. What has the duration of your diet been? And how low is the caloric deficit? And when we combine both of those things, how long have you been living or surviving on too low of a caloric deficit? So the more extreme you were, the more extreme we need to be here, okay? A quick rule of thumb is you should probably not be dieting for about a month for every month that you have been dieting. Again, that's a real quick rule of thumb though, okay? But doing so would hopefully get you out of this chronic diet fatigue syndrome. The more normal, and again, working with my clients, I don't want them to be here. So I want them to be more in the normal category. And hitting a plateau is normal. We all hit a plateau, and it's just kind of this point where our body just kind of isn't quite ready to let go of that next kind of level of body fat, if you will. So under normal, well, there's some radical things that we can do, or there's some slight things that we can do. And again, boy, this is where we want to be. Okay, this is where we want to be. We want to make slight changes. We don't want to make radical changes. But if we do need to make radical changes, maybe a refeed would be appropriate. And again, is that a day refeed or a 1 week refeed? And again, kind of depends on all of these types of things. So another thing that we can do is sometimes just a good workout, sometimes just trying to shake it up a little bit, go for an extra walk or something like that could be enough just to kind of give you a little kick out of your diet plateau. Now, again, on the normal side, the slight things that we can do to help with the diet plateau is simply stay the course. Okay, if you have a proper plan, sometimes we just kind of need to wait it out a little bit. I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but again, if you have a proper plan, that's often the right thing to do. Another option would be to, I call it reinvest. Reinvest in your plan. Maybe you need to get back to the basics, the real blocking and tackling of your program, weighing your food, make sure that your macros are right. Did you inadvertently start taking in too much fat? Did your carbohydrates slowly sneak up as you stopped weighing your food? So reinvest in your program. Another one is Aaron Rodgers said, RELAX, relax. Sometimes you just need to relax. And this happens especially with people. I know it can get frustrating. We're working really hard on our nutrition program and our dieting, especially if we have a deadline coming up, especially if it is if I'm working with an athlete that has a weight associated deadline with it. Trying to get them to relax and just kind of manage through that can be challenging, but just relax. Take a couple deep breaths. Think about all the how far you've come thus far. Getting some good night's sleep. A lot of time, bad sleep will drive us into that plateau. Make sure you get a good night's sleep. And again, maybe a little bit more, down the road of a slight changes, maybe just getting in an extra walk or even a little bit more cardio. I'm real reluctant to talk about this because I think as soon as I say cardio, people want to go for a long run or something like that. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Maybe just take an extra walk 1 day or 2 days. Just do something a little bit different to kick it forward and then come back. It's real important if you do add a walk or cardio to your plan, we want to come back to where we were before. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Again, this is what to do when we hit a plateau. The next thing I want to do is we want to talk about what to do in your nutritional program to minimize plateaus and minimize the length of plateaus. Okay, hey, please drop any questions that you have below. Love to hear about you and love to hear about how you've managed weight loss plateaus in the past. I hope that was helpful. Please like and share. You guys have a great day. Thank you.